Time for the business segment here on Joy News Prime with me, Beverly Broom. Futures markets suggest that crude oil prices will slide by 16.5% year-on-year to average $80.5 a barrel in 2023. That's according to the October 2023 World Economic Outlook by the International Monetary Fund. Now, if this holds, fuel prices may not see much change at the pumps for the rest of the year. Here's a Business Desk report.
The International Energy Agency expects oil demand to increase by 2023, outstripping supply in the second half of the year. In 2022, crude oil prices averaged $96.4. However, the commodity is expected to fall in the coming years to $72.7 in 2026. According to the October 2023 World Economic Outlook, uncertainty around the price outlook is elevated. Upside price risks stem from additional OPEC Plus production cuts, a military escalation in the Black Sea, and insufficient investment in fossil fuel extraction. Downside price risks stem from a widespread global economic relapse, a slowdown in Chinese oil demand, and faster penetration of electric vehicles. Fuel prices went up marginally at the beginning of this month, but it is unlikely prices will go up in the second pricing window beginning 16th October.
Energy strategist Dr. Isif Sulemana is forecasting shortage in oil supply should the war declared by Israel on Gaza continue. According to him, this would impact the price of crude oil. However, he emphasized that the current jump in oil prices is speculative because of uncertainties ahead.
Epicenter of this, of course, is the hub of Middle East, and Middle East is the hub of global energy. Global oil production, and as long as hydrocarbon, or what we call fossil fuel, continue to be the energy of choice, continue to contribute closer to 70 to 80% of global energy supply or energy security, any impact on the supply chain of this commodity will have dire consequences. And if I take you back into history, that's number one. Number two, there is a historical precedent or antecedents of this kind of conflict, or this particular conflict, though in a smaller dimension. If you notice the 1970s market crash, and one of the major issues that propelled or that catalyzed the crash of the market in the 1970s was the oil embargo. And what was the reason for the oil embargo? It was because of also Israel and Arab war. Though this is Israel and Hamas, but Israel and Arab war, then what the Arabians did, because they were the seat for OPEC, they came together and then they quickly put oil embargo. We don't expect that to happen, like I said, because dynamics have changed. But let's say miscalculations could be there. So everybody, or pundits, or people, or oil market activists, or oil market watchers who knew about this history will always be sitting on tenterhooks. And the reason being that if there is any miscalculation on each of the parties' side, and it actually escalates into a regional conflict, and there is a cut in supply into the global basket, either inadvertently or planned, like what happened in the oil embargo in the 1970s, undoubtedly there will be market crash. What will happen is that with huge supply drop, they're going to be shortage. And what is happening is just an example. What is happening actually is just a speculative jump. It's not actually the fundamentals that are kicking in. But if this war prolonged for elongated period of time, the fundamental will actually kick in. And once the supply is dwindled, or is cut, or is restricted, the ramifications are dire. We'll have supply shortage, and you can imagine where oil price will.
Moving on, the IMF is projecting that Ghana will end the year with an inflation rate of 31.3%. This was captured in its latest economic outlook report released on the sidelines of the annual IMF World Bank meetings at Marrakesh in Morocco. There's more in this Business Desk report.
The 31.3% end-year forecast for inflation by the IMF might be similar to what the Bank of Ghana has projected for the country by December 31, 2023. Inflation for the month of August 2023 declined marginally to hit 40.1%. But if this IMF projection is anything to go by, then it supports claims by the Bank of Ghana that inflation rate could be going down further in the coming months to reach new levels by the end of the year. The central bank's latest projection shows that inflation could even hit 29% by the end of this year. The projection, which was also captured in the IMF's latest economic outlook report, may support arguments that the economy is on the path to recovery. It is also projecting that inflation rate will drop further to even 50% in 2024. Looking at the data and projection, especially heading into an election year, if we should keep these numbers, this could help in stabilizing the economy.
Now, improving investor sentiment and the foreign exchange auction are expected to cushion the cedi against the dollar this week. This follows the staff-level agreement reached between the International Monetary Fund and the government. Here's more in this report.
The cedi lost 1.74% in value to the American greenback last week. This is as a result of strong corporate demand. The IMF and government announced a staff-level agreement on the first review of the Economic Credit Facility last Friday, with a second tranche of $600 million to be disbursed after the board's approval. Analysts expect this to boost investor sentiment and consequently strengthen the week going forward. This is expected to be supported by the Bank of Ghana's plans to sell 20 million in the 37th bi-weekly foreign exchange auction to bulk oil distribution companies this week. Fitch Solutions, in its latest country report on Ghana, said the local currency will appreciate by about 1% to the dollar in 2024.
Now, the Bank of Ghana has increased the amount of dollars in advances to the market to support operations of banks and businesses. The move has been influenced by the recent pressure on the local currency. George Wiafe has the rest of the story.
Cedi has witnessed some sustained stability against the US dollar over the past month. However, it appears this trend is changing as it recorded some blips against the US dollar over the past week. This has been linked to the strong recovery of the US dollar on the international market. But Joy Business Check shows that in the local market, the central bank has increased support to the commercial banks, businesses and importers of petroleum products. The Bank of Ghana earlier this month sold about $20 million to importers of petroleum products. Joy Business is learning that just last week, the Bank of Ghana sold $6 million to the market to meet demand coming from businesses and commercial banks. It is believed that this might help deal with the current pressure on the Ghana cedi. But after passing the first IMF program review, there are some who have argued that the Ghana cedi might be one of the biggest beneficiaries of this development. This is because it could deal with some of the investors that were trying to bet on the Ghana cedi's fortunes following the recent good run of the dollar on the international market.
Banking consultant Dr. Richmond Echiahene has called for the reinstatement and an amendment of the Fiscal Responsibility Act to control borrowing. This comes after concerns of fiscal discipline and successive governments' inability to control borrowing. Now, Dr. Echiahene has been speaking at the 12th Ghana Economic Forum organized by the Business and Financial Times.
The 12th Ghana Economic Forum, organized by the Business and Financial Times, is a gathering of policymakers, thought leaders, academia and industry to deliberate on Ghana's macroeconomic challenges and proffer solutions. The 2023 edition is aimed at bringing out collaborative and innovative solutions in the face of global challenges. Speaking at the forum, banking consultant Dr. Richmond Echiahene called for the placement of a cap on borrowing to ensure fiscal discipline.
Constitution does not put a brake on borrowing. And when we borrow, we can borrow and borrow and borrow. The debt GDP ratio is 107%. Which country? Which country? I think the whole Africa, we are the highest. I'm agitating that the parliament or whoever is in charge begin to think about putting a debt cap or debt limit like the Americans, so that when you get to a certain 50% of the GDP, you have to go and amend the constitution before you can spend. If the cap was in the constitution, they cannot suspend the fiscal responsibility. Because you need to go into the constitution, amend it before you could have done what you did. But because it's a law passed with majority, they can easily get over it.
Dr. Echiahene further called for an increment in the royalties paid by foreign mineral mining firms to boost domestic revenue.
One minister said that Ghana generated 6.6 billion, twice the IMF money. Ladies and gentlemen, when you go onto the BOP, we only got 816 million, equivalents of 13%. What sort of country is this? Everybody keep a Ghana is investor-friendly country because we allow ourselves to be taken out by events. If you get 30% of the goal that the minister said, it would have given us nearly $2 billion. What happened to it? We signed a whole lot of agreement as if tomorrow is not going to come.
The president of the Association of Ghana Industries, Humphrey Eyim Dake, called for government to address the harsh macroeconomic environment.
The contraction sectors, construction, negative 11.7, wholesale and retail, and I can go electricity. When electricity consumption goes into negative contraction, it suggests that productivity is low. So if Abna has money and entrepreneurs as gathered here are seeking to go look for it, the investor who is looking for equity will look for your growth poles and growth trajectory. Right. So if policy, seeing this anomaly, is not seeking to align and do targeting, selective, and aid in the growth direction, how do we go for that money?
The 12th Ghana Economic Forum, which was organized by the Business and Financial Times, was held on the theme, Building Back Better, IMF Support, Strategies to Build a Sustainable Economy and Dynamic Business Environment.
Let's turn our attentions now to agriculture, as the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, in partnership with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, will soon be implementing the solar panel irrigation system. Speaking at a press briefing ahead of this year's World Food Day, FAO representative in Ghana, Yadi Yasmin, disclosed that a 3-year program is worth 10 million euros. Here's more in this report.
World Food Day is an international day celebrated every year worldwide on October 16th to commemorate the date of the founding of the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization in 1945. This year's celebration is focused on the vital role water plays in food production. Engaging the media, FAO representative in Ghana, Yadi Yasmin, revealed that plants
We'll bring you the full report subsequently. Now, Minister for Employment and Labour Relations, Ignatius Bafwewa, has urged cooperative unions in Ghana to modernize their operations in order to stay relevant. According to the minister, the importance of the cooperative credit union to national development cannot be underestimated, hence the need to adapt their operations to modern trends. The minister was speaking at the 101st International Cooperatives Day celebration in Accra.
In the past, especially in our rural communities, anywhere you went, any huge building you saw belonged to the cooperative. And even in Accra here, you move to Adabraka, most of the mighty buildings in Adabraka today that you see were put up used either by cooperative or using the resources of cooperative bodies. But what do we see today? If in the past, our forefathers, our forebears saw the need to have unity even in business, why is it that we can't do the same today? That is why, personally, I have always urged the Registrar of Cooperative to find a way to modernize the way you do business at the department, so that it will become easy, one, for associations to be formed, and also for them to be able to operate. If there is a method to development that we may have lost and which we need to go back to, then I strongly believe that that method is cooperative.
Now, speaking at the same event, the national chairman of the Ghana Cooperative Union Credit Union Association, Dr. Bibi Bengam, also called on government to prioritize cooperative systems in its quest to improve food security, bridge the inequality gap, and reduce poverty.
We keep saying that we want to have food sustainability, and yet the attention we pay to the agri sector remains something you and I cannot talk about. We say that we are interested in the deprived, yet the cooperatives, which is a model tackling the very vulnerable people, we are not included. I asked yesterday what happened to the cooperative during the planting for food and job. During the Operation Feed Yourselves, you can ask those who were elderly. Cooperatives played a key role. So what is happening today? We'd like to take this opportunity to re-echo our words to the government that indeed, if poverty reduction and indeed if food security is anything to go by, the cooperative model is the only way out. And we crave the government of the day and even other governments that will come in the future to pay attention to the cooperatives.
Now, some foreign trade groups have called for the trade partnership to boost the capacity of SMEs to stay competitive. According to them, building networks will afford SMEs the opportunity to learn from foreign brands and forge strategic partnerships to boost exports. They have been speaking at the Jameson Building Bridges to Africa conference organized by the Jameson Strategic Consulting Group. The Jameson Building Bridges to Africa Conference is a platform created by the Jameson Strategic Consulting Group to promote international trade and sustainable economic growth. It achieves this by connecting small and medium businesses through strategic trade exchanges and collaborative market expansion programs. Speaking to Joy Business, the founder and principal of Jameson Strategic Consulting LLC, Lady Jill Joanna J. Coleman, called for partnership to boost the SME sector.
My firm, Jameson Strategic Consulting, we are an SME, and so when we started this conference off, we wanted to not go after major corporations. We wanted to speak to those who are small and medium-sized enterprises to say we understand the work that you do, we understand the challenges that you have, and with that, let us take what we've learned, you take what you've learned, and then let's put it together. Many times, small, medium-sized enterprises never have an opportunity for a conference like this. Sometimes the registration is too much. Sometimes there's just not an opportunity for it. So we intentionally created this opportunity for the MSME.
CEO of Synergy Global Holdings, Mike Kobler, rehashed the need to build the capacity of SMEs to stay competitive.
The world has become a very small global village, and because of the ACTA, it's important for SMEs to build their capacity to be able to interact with global businesses. So we found this as a good opportunity for the SME sector to network and engage with American companies who have like minds and similar businesses that they are doing to help them explore new markets. The idea is that we cannot continue to remain small. Our problems as a country has been FX related. So the more exports that we are able to do, the more we are able to solve that part of the puzzles.
The country manager for Jameson Ghana, Paul Labi Amwa, had this to say.
Our main objective is to bring American businessmen and women, including their educational sector, to partner, network, and explore business opportunities beyond exchanging mere business cards, so that in the near future we can be proud to have Ghanaian businesses, either small to medium enterprises or in the big private sector, to establish connections with our American delegation.
The trade conference, held on the theme Building Bridges to Africa, was held in partnership with the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, American Chamber of Commerce Ghana, Synergy Capital, and Yotumfo Setutu II Foundation.
Now, as the country strives to tap into the endless benefits of the digital world, Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, has not been left behind as the power distributors introduced a cashless system. The new power app is expected to boost convenience in accessing services and enhance revenue collection. Tema Regional General Manager, Engineer Emmanuel Ankoma, disclosed this after embarking on a float to educate customers on the new system. Correspondent Kwame Yanka has more in this report.
The cashless system by the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, is aimed at ensuring ease of making payments and revenue mobilization, as well as improved services. As part of customer education and publicity, Tema North and South District of ECG embarked on a float. The Tema North District went through parts of communities 11, 12, 9, 8 markets, among other places. The South District team educated customers starting from Community 1 through to Community 2 and other areas under the district on accessing the ECG cashless platform and its benefits. General Manager for ECG Tema Region, Engineer Emmanuel Ankoma, in an interview, assured customers of enhanced cashless system.
The essence of it is to make our customers aware of the advantages, cool and convenient. Cross your leg, just relax at your home and then be able to transact business with us. The platform can usher you in, you pay your bills, you can also complain, push in all the faults and any challenge, any inquiries, we could use that very power app to do that. So we say it is an enhanced app. We've enhanced it. But as a military man, I will not tell you all the strategies, but it is well protected, it's enhanced, the functions are improved, and every transaction, I'm assuring you, is safe. So you can use it, you are safe, ECG is also safe, and the power app is the way now. Customers are all invited to be part of it.
Engineer Emmanuel Ankoma takes customers through the process of using the payment platform.
It's quite basic and simple. We have 3 approaches in doing that. 1, you could just dial the short code *226# and then it will lead you to the ECG Power app. Then you use your mobile phone number to access it. You could also scan our QR code and then it will lead you to the app, or you go with the web browser powerapp.ecg.com.gh. That will also lead you to accessing the Power app for whatever transactions you have.
Tema Regional Public Relations Officer for ECG, Sechua Mensah, touches on how the power distributor is using different means of educating customers on the new system as the company works on improving its usability.
In our offices, our district offices, we have dedicated staff who take customers through the mobile app whenever they come for transactions. Those who do not understand, we have dedicated staff who do that. We use integrated educational approaches. So we are doing radio, we are doing community engagements, we are going to churches, we are visiting mosques, we are meeting groups of people, schools, we are visiting schools as well, going into communities, media. So it's a mix. Currently we have MTN, Vodafone and 80. That's Airtel Tigo, formerly Airtel Tigo, now they are 80. So we accept payments from all these 3 telco companies. We also accept Visa cards, MasterCards, and then via the ECG Power app.
Meanwhile, Tema North District Manager Daniel Mensah Asari says the drive is expected to increase usage of the mobile app to about 90%.
Using the mobile app, power app, the short code or any other means that any of the 3 means that my boss emphasizes will not attract any e-levy. So let no one say that, oh, because of e-levy I am not using the app. Use it, it is convenient from home, in your hall, in your bedroom, everywhere you can use it. Our expectation is that we'll have more than 90% compliance to the use of the mobile app and all the other digital forms that we have introduced. Yes, so it is part of the message we are carrying, that you need not go to ECG office to pay your bill.
ECG believes the new payment platform will be a significant boost in revenue mobilization. Kwame Yankesh reports for Joy Business.
On that note, we end business tonight. For more business news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com/business. I am Beverly Broom. Razak Musbao is next with sports. Please stay.